All right, students. So let's begin with our solution of 3 by 3 system of equations. Previously, what we studied was 2 by 2 system of equations, and now we're moving down to how to solve or how to get the answer for a 3 by 3 system of equation. A 3 by 3 system of equation will consist of 3 equations with 3 variables. For example, x, y, and z. Uh, an equation with 3 variables, an example of such equation is 2x plus 3y plus 4z equals to 10, for example. So this is an equation which has 3 variables, x, y, and z. Now with 3 variables, each equation graphs as a plane in 3 dimensions. We'll come back to this point. It is possible to have all 3 types of solution sets. Yeah, you can have a unique solution, you can have a no solution, or you can have infinite number of solutions, just like when you have a 2 by 2 system of equation. Now let's come back to what this point means right here. See, when we're talking about 3 variables, when I have an equation which has 3 variables, x, y, and z, again, it's not necessarily important to have x, y, and z. It could be a, b, and c as well. It could be m and o as well, whatever, right? So with 3 variables, each equation graphs as a plane in 3 dimensions, as opposed to a line for an equation with 2 variables. When I have an equation, something like an equation with 2 variables, for example, 2x plus 3y equals to 4, or y equals to 2x plus 3, for example. So y equals to 2x plus 3, it graphs as a straight line in 2 dimensions. When we're working with an equation with 3 variables, when z starts getting involved, we cannot graph that equation in a 2D plane. We need to graph that equation, first of all, in 3 dimensions. What does that mean? That means that we need to introduce another axis called the z-axis. And the important thing is each equation, it graphs as a plane. Let's take a clear look at what this means. Here I have open, here I have open, it's a GeoGebra. It's a very good online graph plotter, which can basically plot graphs for you. So for example, if you have an equation right here, I have y equals to 2x plus 3. You can see this is the line that it draws up. This is the graph of the line y equals to 2x plus 3 right here. You can see it clearly. what if I were to add something else? I were to add the variable z. What if that happens? Y equals to 2x plus y equals to 2x plus 3z. Now this is an equation with 3 variables. Let's see what its graph looks like. Now what happened, suddenly this has become a bit fuzzy and everything, but basically this is in 2D. We need to add another third dimension to it. What is the third dimension? If this was my y-axis and this was my x-axis, I need to add another axis right here, which is the z-axis, kind of like this, right? This is the y-axis, this is the x-axis, and this is the z-axis. They're all at 90 degrees, at a 90-degree angle to each other, right? And you can see that in 3 dimensions, my equations with 3 variables, y equals to 2x plus 3z, or it could be anything else, 2x plus 3z plus 4y equals to, it could be anything. It will graph as a plane. This surface is a plane. This is not a line, it's a plane, right? You can see it's actually a surface, right? So that is the difference between an equation with 2 variables, it draws as a line, and an equation with 3 variables, it draws as a plane. An example of a plane is, for example, the walls of your room, the roof of your room, for example, that is a plane, right? So that is that's what it means when I talk about planes. Again, like I told you, we can have either parallel, no solution, or infinite solution, or a unique solution. Let's take a look at no solution. So if I have 3 parallel planes that are parallel to each other, they are not touching each other at all, kind of like this, maybe they're like this. You might think that they're touching right here, but no, they're in the z-axis, they're not touching at all, right? So if these parallel planes, if they're not touching each other at all, this is a case of no solution. These 3 planes are parallel to each other. But same is the case with over here. Now, for example, this is one plane that I have, this is the second plane, and this is the third plane, right? I'm sure you can all visualize it. I'm sure you can see that they are coming in contact. Plane 1 and 2 are coming in contact here, and plane 1 and 3 are coming in contact here. But this again is a case of no solution. Why? Because the three planes, plane 1, 2, and 3, they are not coming into contact at one single point. 1 and 2 are in contact, 1 and 3 are in contact, but 2 and 3 are not in contact with each other. So resultantly, this is a case of no solution. Again, this is the graphical analysis. We're looking at the graphical method of determining a solution for the planes. Here you will see this is a case of infinite many solutions. How? You have plane number 1 right here. You have plane number 2 like this one, and you have plane number 3 right this one. Okay. So what is happening? This plane 1, 2, and 3, they're intersecting. They're intersecting at this line, right? So along this line, what do we have? We have like at this point, for example, these three planes are intersecting, but these three planes are intersecting at this point as well as at this point, as well as at this point, and you know, it continues to go on and on. What this is a case of infinite number of solutions. They are all intersecting at a line. And if we have a unique solution, what happens in a unique solution? This point right here will be the unique solution. A very common example of your unique solution is the point where the two walls of your room and the roof of your room, they intersect. You know, the four corners of any room at the top, they're basically a cases of unique solution. Like two walls are intersecting with the roof. That is a case of unique solution. So this was trying to understand planes in the graphical method. But obviously, a much better approach is to solve these systems of equation using the elimination method. The elimination method is pretty much similar. For a 3 by 3 is similar to that of a 2 by 2 system. What happens is we start off with a 3 by 3 system, and we convert it into a 2 by 2 system. Then we convert that 2 by 2 system, we solve that 2 by 2 system using the methods that we've already discussed above. You know, we solve it, we basically make it into a 1 by 1 system or whatever, and we get a value of one variable. Then we go back to the 2 by 2 system and then to a 3 by 3 system. If during any phase of the elimination an identity equation comes up, then there will be infinite solutions. What does this mean? That, for example, if I have something like 0 equals to 0, then this will give me infinite many solutions. Of course, this is all talk, and we need to understand all of these with a few examples. So let's see how it goes. Okay, before we have a 3 by 3 system, and then we convert it into 2 by 2 system, then into a 1 by 1 system. We get the value for one variable here, then we take the value over here, put it in 2 by 2 system, get the value for the second variable, and then take the value for the third variable. Let's see what happens. So this is the system, a 3 by 3 system of equation. We need to find the values, or we need to find a solution set. So first of all, let's try to eliminate. We have to eliminate one variable in this equation. Let's take equation number 1 and 2. Let's try to eliminate variable x2 first. We can see that if equation 1 and 2 are added, the positive and negative x2 will add to give 0. This positive x2 and this negative x2, they will add together and give me 0, right? So I'll be adding equation 1 and 2, hence eliminating the variables. So adding equation 1 and 2, what do we get? I write the first equation right here as it is, the second equation right here as it is, and then I try to add them. What I get, x1 plus 2x1 is 3x1. This adds to give me 0. x3 plus 3x3 gives me 4x3 equals to 10. I will label this equation, this new equation that I have, as equation 4. Okay, you'll notice that I can't just solve this equation right away, because this one equation has two variables, x1 and x3. I can't solve it right away. So I need another equation for this. How do I get another equation? Now I need to utilize either equation 2 or 3 or equation 1 and 3. Okay. So we need another equation. Multiplying equation 2 with plus 5 and adding to equation 3 will give me a new equation. If I were to multiply this with plus 5, and this will become minus 5x squared, right? Minus 5x squared will add with plus 5x2. Sorry, not 5x squared, 5x2 will add with plus 5x2 to give me 0x2. It's important to notice here that we have to eliminate x2 for this, right? We have to eliminate x2. We can't just eliminate x3. In the first step, we decided we can eliminate any variable, but here we'll have to, since we decided to eliminate x2 over here, we'll have to continue to eliminate x2 in the next step. This is shown in the next slide. I'll be taking equation 2 and 3. Equation 2 is multiplied by the number 5, and this is equation number 3. When I add the two equations, x2 automatically gets eliminated, and I have another equation which is called x equation 5. Now I have equation 5, and previously I got this equation 4. I'll solve these equations 4 and 5 simultaneously. This is what I'll do. Since x2 has been eliminated, equation 4 and 5 constitute an equivalent 2 by 2 system, which is shown below. This is equation 4, this is equation 5. This is a 2 by 2 system, and you can easily solve it, right? You know how to solve this. So using elimination methods discussed above, we can eliminate x3. How can we eliminate x3? We'll multiply the above equation by the number plus 5 and multiply the below equation with the number minus 4, and we'll add the two results. What do we get? Basically, obviously you'll see that we can't add the two. They're not adding to give me a 0 x3 anywhere. So I need to multiply this equation as well and this equation as well. And that's exactly what I've done. I've multiplied equation 4 with plus 5, and I'll multiply equation 5 with minus 4. This is what happens, and when I add the two, x3 gets cancelled, and I have something in terms of x1. When I solve for x1, I get the value of 2. Now this x1 equals to 2. This needs to be input back into equation 4 either, or equation 5. The value of x1 is substituted into equation 4 to get the value of x3. This was equation number 4, and when I put x1 into this, what do I get? I get x3, the value of x3 as 1. Now I have the value of x1, x3. I need to put these two values back into either of the first three equations, right? I can put this into equation 1, 2, or 3. So I'll put this in equation 1, which I got the values of x3 as 1. It's right here. I got the value of x1 as 2, and I'll solve this for x2, and I'll get the values of x1, x2, and x3. We can further verify our answer by substituting these three values of x1, x2, and x3 into the equations 2 and 3. Equations 2 and 3 are right here. Okay. So this is how you're supposed to solve these a 3 by 3 system of linear equation. It can get a bit lengthy, it can get a bit lengthy or a tedious task, but it helps a lot. You know, these are further examples. You can watch them. So in order to summarize what we've done over here, I'll add something else. What we had basically, we had three equations, right? I won't call them, I won't label them anything. These are three equations. Let's call them three equations, right? This is in x, all of these have x, y, and z. And now using these three equations, I made, in fact, these are three equations that I had, you know, and let's suppose using equation 1 and 2, I got equation number 4. And using equation, I can use equation 1 or 3 or 2 or 3. Using equation 2 and 3, I got another equation. Now these three equations had the variables x, y, and z, but in this stage, I will have eliminated one variable. I would have, let's suppose I eliminated the variable y. I am working now in x and y. Now I'll further use these two equations to get another equation, which will be in terms of x. My y will be eliminated, and I'll get the value of x over here as some number. Let's suppose it's 2, right? Now I'll put this value of 2 back into any of these two equations, and I'll get the value of y. Let's suppose it's 3. And I'll put the value of x equals to 2 and y equals to 3 back into any of these original three equations, and I'll get the value of z, which is, let's suppose, 5. So 2, 3, and 5 will be the solution to my 3 by 3 system of equation right here. That is what the general summary of this is. I hope this was a very fruitful lecture. This is a practice question. This right here is a practice question that you're supposed to solve it yourselves. And if you need any help in this, the link attached will will help you in the solution of it. I hope this was a fruitful session, and this concludes the topic for this lecture. Uh, I'll meet you inshallah in another lecture. Take care. Allah Hafiz.